want your thoughts on Gilberto Mora, what we saw from the 16-year-old. Gets another start, gets the assist, obvious, on Raul Jimenez's goal. The other question I have is, what do we make of Julian Quiñones not even being on the bench in this game? Casey's talking about Mexico doesn't have guys who can break a team down, who can do anything. This is a piece that you think would be able to help in that way, and yet he's not even good enough to be on the bench for Mexico in a Gold Cup semifinal, apparently.
Yeah. I'll take Gilberto Mora since you're the Americanista. You can take Julian Quiñones. You know him very well. But Seb, I don't know if you guys noticed in the first half. I mean, you stressed about how important it was for Honduras to be physical. That was the game plan. Mm-hmm. They were very physical with Gilberto Mora. Borderline child abuse. I'm sitting here like, whoa, what's going on? This kid's being off the field. He's getting hit. And I'm like, I'm hoping he could stand up, show some personality. And he does. And moments when it gets tough, his touch is clean. Moments when it gets tight, he sees things before it opens up. And you start seeing the way he runs at players, the way he puts it into a path of a player. You start thinking, this isn't just a 16-year-old. I am convinced that he's booked a one-way ticket to Europe sooner rather than later. I know Mexican football is notorious for holding on to their young talent, holding them hostage, if you will. I think Xolos will be a little bit different. I think something will happen and he will leave. He just signed with Rafaela Pimienta, a European agent, so it seems like everything's in the work right now. That's Erling Haaland's agent. It seems like everything is lining up for this kid to leave, and he is doing his part. They brought him here instead of going to the Tulum tournament. They brought him here instead of letting him be in preseason with his team. And it's for a reason. It wasn't to sit the bench. He didn't play the first 2-3 group stages games to play the knockout rounds. And now he's a pivotal piece of this puzzle. When we thought Alexis Vega or Julian Quiñones would be that answer behind the 9, that answer in the 10 spot, in walks in a 16-year-old and says, no, this is mine. So I thought he was great today.
What I like about, hold on, Jose, one
when
sec.
you talk about Mora.
Yeah, Jose,
Yep.
1 sec.
Yep.
What I
Go ahead, Casey.
really liked about Mora was he made that one mistake in the first half, gave the ball away in midfield, good counterattack from Honduras, wasn't capitalized. And it was almost like a learning moment where he kind of went, okay, those are the spots, I can't take those risks. And those are important for young players. I always loved yelling at a player when he makes a mistake like that.
I bet you love yelling at a player.
No, but then when he's not punished.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows if you give that ball away and then the goal goes in, you're just piling on then.
It doesn't need to be said in that moment,
but when it's not, that's that time you can say, hey, not again. And it really looked like he had that light bulb go off.
Last word on Mora, and if you want it on Quiñones, to you, Jose.
Yeah, when you talk about Mora first, you have to praise Javier Aguirre. This doesn't really happen in Mexico. 16 years old, and Javier Aguirre gave him a chance, and the kid responded. The stage wasn't too big for him, especially after those plays that Herc described. You know, some players, they get scared. They're like, oh, what's going on here? You know, it wasn't the case with Mora. That goal by Raúl Alonso Jiménez, the way Mora set him up, was beautifully done. And El Piojo Alvarado, he almost scored. Who set him up?
Yeah, Mora.
Mora. And Oribe Peralta, he became a star of the Mexican national team when he was 28 years old. Raúl Alonso Jiménez, we all praise him. He's 34 years old.
And
Sepúlveda, he's in the bench, 34 years old. So, guys, Mexico has to celebrate that finally Javier Aguirre is letting like these young players to have a chance to earn a spot in the next roster.
Yeah, I mean, he's 16. Marcel Ruiz, it's different level of young. He's 24 years old, but another kind of new face in midfield for Javier Aguirre.